solve 1/3 times the absolute value of 6j plus 5 minus 4 equals 3. Recall that whenever we solve for absolute value equations and inequalities, we have to get the absolute value alone and determine if we can travel the given distance to the left and right of 0. So for this problem here, we have some steps we have to undo to get the absolute value alone. And so the first step, what we should probably do, is add 4 to each side of our equation. In doing so, now we've got 1/3 times the absolute value of 6j plus 5 equals 7. Again, we're trying to get the absolute value alone, and right now it's being multiplied by 1/3. Well, in order to undo the multiplication, we could divide by 1/3, or we could multiply by its reciprocal of 3. So let's multiply each side of our equation by the reciprocal of 3. So that will undo this part here. And then we have 7 times 3, which would be 21. So we've done the first goal, to get the absolute value alone. Now let's check the distance they would like us to travel. 21. You can travel 21 units away from 0 to the left and to the right on your number line. So let's take a look at each rule. And remember, you have to check your solutions along the way to see if they satisfy the requirements of the original equation. So let's start by going to the left 21 units. So in order to undo this equation for going to the left, we can divide each side by -1, which results in 6j plus 5 equals -21. Again, we're trying to get j by itself, so we could subtract 5 from each side of our equation, which would mean that 6j equals -26. Now that's 6 times j. To undo the multiplication, we divide each side of the equation by 6, which would result in a -13/3. So again, we want to check and see, does this value for j satisfy the requirements of the original equation? So to check it, we're going to substitute it back in. Follow our order of operations to make sure we get a balanced equation, so that 3 equals 3. If it does, that's great, we have a solution. If not, it's extraneous, we have to eliminate it. So following our order of operations, we're going to multiply 6 times our -13/3. We get a -26. And then we would like to simplify inside our absolute value, so -26 plus 5, that would be a -21. Now remember, the absolute value of -21, what does that mean? How many units away from 0 is -21 on the number line? Well, that's 21. 1/3 of 21, that would result in 7. 7 minus 4, is that equal to 3? Yes, it is. So we have a solution of -13/3 for equation for j. That's for going to the left. Now we have to do the same process for when we go to the right 21 units on the number line. So setting it up for going to the right, we're going to undo this to solve for j. We can divide each side by 1. Then undo our addition of 5 by subtracting 5 from each side of the equation. So 6j equals 16. We can undo the multiplication of 6 by dividing each side of the equation by 6, which means j equals 8/3. Again, we have to check and make sure that this value for j really meets the requirements of the original equation. So we're going to substitute it in and find out. So we have some multiplying to do. 6 times 8/3, that would give us 16. 16 plus 5, that's 21. Remember, absolute value of 21, how many units away from 0 is 21 on the number line? That's 21 units. 1/3 of 21, that's 7. 7 minus 4, does that equal 3? Yes, it does. So the solution of 8/3 works, as well as -13/3. So this equation has two solutions.